So our topic of discussion is scalar and vector. Do you have any idea that what are the scalar quantities and what are the vector quantities?
मिस आपकी आवाज समझ नहीं आ रही, आप क्या बता रही हैं?
Okay, I'm asking from you that we are starting scalar and vector. Am I audible now?
नो मिस.
Is it fine? I don't know. Okay, am I audible now?
यस मिस.
Maybe there is some network issue. Okay, let's start with the scalar and vector. I'm asking you that do you have any idea that what is a scalar and vector quantities? Any idea about scalar and vector quantities? Okay, we have discussed about physical quantity. What are the physical quantities? Let's recall. Physical quantities are those which can be measured. So further, we can divide physical quantities into two different types. That is scalar quantities and vector quantities. We have physical description with the two types. That is scalar quantities have two further divisions. Scalar quantities and vector quantities. Right? Let's see what are these scalar quantities and vector quantities. Okay, let's talk about scalar quantities first. Scalar quantities are those which have magnitude. What do you mean by magnitude? Any number, any magnitude. Let's suppose if I said you, I am travel 5 kilometer. 5, what is 5? 5 is magnitude. 5 kilometer is actually magnitude. But I'm not directing you that I am traveling 5 kilometer towards east. I'm not giving you any direction. I just said I am travel 5 kilometers, right? So that is the distance I have traveled. So distance is actually a scalar quantity. Distance is actually a scalar quantity because no direction is defined. Similarly, if I talk about temperature, the temperature of this cup is 50 centigrade, right? It's not defining any direction to you, it's just a magnitude. So temperature is also scalar quantity. Similarly, we have many other quantities which are scalar. Let's see, these are all scalar quantities, like any volume. Volume is a magnitude. If I'm talking about any square room, if I am sitting in any square room, so it has volume, but it doesn't have any direction, right? Because I have a different length, width. Similarly, time. If we talk about time, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 hours, 5 hours. Similarly, the time is not directing any direction. In the same way, I have density. What is the formula of density? Density is denoted by rho. Formula of density is mass per volume. Mass per volume. So mass and volume both are, these both are base quantities.
Density.
Yes, these both are base quantities and they are not defining any such direction to me. So similarly, my density is also a scalar quantity. And whenever I talk about the power, Power is itself a scalar because it's not defining me any direction that in which direction I'm applying a power. No. So power is not defining any sort of direction. Similarly, pressure is also not defining any direction. Pressure is force per unit area, force which is applied on certain area. But it's not defining in which area I am applying the force. It's not defining any sort of direction to me. Similarly, if I talk about energy, I have consumed 100 calorie of food. I'm not defining any direction. I have defining the magnitude only. Similarly, I have applied that uh, much energy. Okay, so suppose 100 joules of energy. Similarly, the direction is not defined. A magnitude is defined. A magnitude, a number is defined. Okay, similarly, if I talk about speed, so speed is distance per time. Both quantities are base quantities. No direction is given because distance itself gives no direction. You know what is the difference between the distance and displacement? Let's see. Suppose I have two objects, this one and this one. Say it as A and this one is B, right? If I move directly from A to B, and suppose if I'm said you that I am moving from south to north, so this is not the distance, this is displacement. But if I am moving with undefined path, means no direction is defined to me, and I reach to the point B. Similarly, if I follow that one path, I'm not defined any direction, but I reach the same point. So what I have covered a distance, not displacement. So distance is a scalar quantity. Suppose I have covered here a 2 kilometer distance. Similarly, I have covered here a 5 kilometer distance. Meter suppose. And here I have covered only 1 meter distance. And now it is directed that I am moving from north to south. So that is our displacement. That distance is a displacement. And what is this? Where direction is not defined and I have to cover a distance from a longer path and whatever it is. So that is our distance, not a displacement. So that is the difference between distance and displacement. Okay, so that's why distance is a scalar quantity. Similarly with the mass, weight, both are scalar quantities because suppose the mass of this object is 5 kg, right? 5 Newton, 6 Newton. So it has magnitude. It doesn't define any direction. So mass is a scalar. Hope it is clear that what are these scalar quantities. Clear to everybody of you?
Yes, miss.
So camera should be on. Camera should be on. Okay. Okay, let's move towards vector quantities. Now, what are vector quantities? Vector quantities are those which have magnitude as well as direction. It has magnitude and similarly direction is defined to you. Suppose if I am moving 2 kilometers towards north, right? My boat is moving 5 kilometers towards east. So here direction is defined, right? So these are the vector quantities. Let's see how many types of vector quantity we have. Okay, so I have explained you the term displacement, right? And I have explained you the displacement is the quantity in which direction is clearly defined to you, right? Similarly, velocity, because velocity is actually equal to displacement per time, and displacement is a speed per time. And what is displacement? Displacement is a vector quantity, so our overall velocity is a vector quantity. Similarly, force is applied in any certain direction. Suppose if I am applying a force on certain wall, let's suppose this is a wall and I am applying a force. I'm standing over there and my hand is pointing in this way. I am standing in this way. Suppose if I am standing in this way and I am applying the force in this direction towards wall. So I am actually directing the force. I am actually directing the force. So vector is a vector quantity. Okay. Suppose if I am applying a force of 5 Newton, 5 Newton, right? So 5 Newton is a magnitude and I am directing the direction as well. So this is a vector because it has magnitude as well as direction. Similarly, if I talk about weight, weight. How can we find out that weight is also a vector quantity? Let's suppose we know that weight is equal to force. Weight is actually equals to force. Weight of a body is equals to force. Because weight का formula क्या होता है? W is equals to mg. Keep this thing in your mind. Weight का formula हमारे पास होता है mg. M is a mass and g is the gravitational force. M is a mass and g is a gravitational force. And you know that suppose this is the mass of a ball. Okay, so weight of ball is 5 kg. And you know that if you are falling anything, it is always fall downward in the downward direction. Why? Due to the gravity. So weight is always fall towards downward direction. So definitely it has a magnitude as well it has a direction. Bilkul.
Yes.
So it is a vector quantity. And why it has a direction? Due to gravity. Because gravity is always pointing towards center of the earth. Okay. Similarly, we have acceleration. What is the formula of acceleration? Velocity per time. And you know that velocity is a vector quantity. That is displacement per time. So similarly, acceleration is also vector quantity. Clear? So here we have discussed that what are the vector quantities and what are scalar quantities. Hope it is very clear to you. I'm recalling the lecture again. Scalar quantities are those which have only magnitude. What is magnitude? Any number. And there is no direction defined. Mean it is not directing any direction that you have to go towards north or you have to go towards downward. Like similarly, when we talk about vector, vector has magnitude and direction as well. And you can see these are the quantities which all are the examples of vector. And I have defined each and every individual, right? When we talk about vector, about weight is always directing downward. I have explained about the displacement, that when we are moving and directed the direction to you, that I am moving towards north to east, right? Similarly, a force is applied in the certain direction. Similarly, velocity and acceleration are same, right? Almost same. Okay, so almost our class is going to be end. Tomorrow we are discussing more about scalar and vector, and we are trying to solve some of MCQs.
मिस
Yes,
मिस 9 और 10 को क्लास होगी.
I don't know. Maybe it's off. It will be instructed to you through message.
ओके.
Okay. So in the next class, we are going to practice these MCQs. Do the practice at your home as well. Try to solve these MCQs in the slide provided to you. This is the same slide of physical quantities I have given. Okay. फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज की जो स्लाइड मैंने आपको प्रोवाइड की है, इसमें ही स्केलर एंड वेक्टर का टॉपिक गिवन है, तो आपको उसी स्लाइड पे जाना है, वहीं से आपने इसके एमसीक्यूज को सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करनी है. दैट इज योर होमवर्क एंड व्हाट आई हैव असाइन्ड अ टास्क टू यू. यस, you have to keep yourself, your surrounding area clean, right? Okay, now I'm going to take your attendance. Your cameras are again off. Turn on your camera, everybody of you. Better follow the instructions. Okay? Otherwise, I will be strict with you. Okay, one announcement more. On Friday, I'm going to take a test of chapter physical quantities and measurement. So keep on practice with this with the chapter. And you too, Aban, if you have any problem, go through the lecture, recorded lecture, and try to give the test. Try to, right?
मिस
Yeah.
मिस रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर कहाँ है? ओ, उस पे गूगल क्लासरूम पे.
I will share the link with you. You can go through this. Okay.
ओके
So
मिस.
go by the Google classroom as well and the recorded lecture as well. In spite of this, if you have any problem, you can ask me and try to attempt the test. I'm not restricted you to have to attempt the test, but try to do this if you can. Okay. Otherwise, all of you are instructed to be punctual on that day and keep your self practice with this. Okay. अच्छा, ये मेरा एक पेज था जिससे मैं चलती हूँ, because after completion of every chapter I will take a test. तो इस तरह मुझे acknowledge हो जाता है that you on which status you are, right? तो हर चैप्टर के completion के बाद मैं एक टेस्ट लेती हूँ. Secondly, वो जगह अगर मुझे आपका रिजल्ट अच्छा मिलता है तो मैं आगे चैप्टर पर जंप करती हूँ, वरना हम उस जो टॉपिक मुझे लगता है कि इसमें आपको प्रॉब्लम है, मैं उसको दोबारा एक्सप्लेन. ठीक है, मुझे आपके टेस्ट से एनालाइज होगा कि आपकी क्या ग्रिप है. ओके, अभी तक मुझे आपकी क्लास का अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स मिला है. जस्ट फॉलो ऑल द इंस्ट्रक्शन व्हाट इज इंस्ट्रक्टेड टू यू. ठीक है, आप लोग मुझे असाइनमेंट्स भी सेंड कर रहे हो. अभी जो मैंने असाइनमेंट्स आपको दिए थे रिगार्डिंग स्क्रू गेज और वर्नियर कैलिपर, वो मुझे अभी तक सिर्फ 4 स्टूडेंट्स के मिले हैं, बाकी के नहीं मिले हैं. तो मुझे वो आप अटैच करो गूगल क्लासरूम पे वो असाइनमेंट्स. ठीक है, और फिर आई थिंक आपका फ्राइडे को टेस्ट मैं देख के बताती हूँ. मैं आपको अनाउंस कर दूंगी जब भी होगा. आई थिंक आपका फ्राइडे को यस आपका फ्राइडे को ही है टेस्ट, मींस 19, ठीक है। सो 19 को हम आपका टेस्ट लेंगे फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज एंड मेजरमेंट का, बस स्केलर और वेक्टर करने के लिए। ओके, स्केलर वेक्टर को मैं अलग से किसी दिन में एनालाइज करूंगी। स्केलर वेक्टर अभी हमने स्टार्ट किया है, अभी बीच के दिनों में स्केलर एंड वेक्टर कंप्लीट हो जाएगा। फ्राइडे को आपका टेस्ट होगा और अगर आप लोगों का रिजल्ट सही रहा तो मंडे से हम न्यू चैप्टर स्टार्ट करेंगे। ओके, सो अल्लाह हाफिज, our class is going to be end.
अल्लाह हाफिज।